I'm Dr. Binu. In Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Fundamental subject, the last topic in the third unit is training data versus testing data. What is meant by training data as well as testing data? The testing data is used to determine the performance of the training model, whereas training data is used to train the machine learning model. Training data is the uh, data that supplies the model in machine learning. It is larger than testing data because more data helps to more effective predictive model. When a machine learning algorithm receives data from our records, it recognizes patterns and create a decision making model. Algorithms allow a company's past experience to be used to make decisions. It analyzes all previous cases and their results, and using this data creates models to score and predict the outcome of current cases. The more data machine learning models have to access, to more reliable their predictions get over time. What is testing data? You will need to unknown information to test your machine learning model after it was created. This data is known as testing data, and it may be used to access the progress and the efficiency of your algorithms training, as well as used to modify or optimize them for better results. It's showing the testing data shows the original data set. Suppose if the data set should be large enough to produce reliable projections. Then we will see the differences between training as well as testing data. The purpose of training data is the machine learning model is trained using training data. The more training data a model has, the more accurate predictions it can make. Testing data. Testing data is used to evaluate the model's performance. Then exposure. Exposure of training data. By using the training data, the model can gain knowledge and become more accurate in its predictions. But in testing data, the exposure is until evaluation, the testing data is not exposed to the model. This guarantees that the model cannot learn the testing data by heart and produce a flawless forecast. Distribution. In the training data, distribution should be similar to the distribution of actual data that the model will use. The distribution of testing data and the data from the real world differs greatly. The use of training data is stop overfitting. Training data is normally utilized by making predictions on the testing data and comparing them to actual labels. The performance of the model is assessed. The size of the training data is typically large. The size of the testing data is normally smaller. Why we are using training data as well as testing data? Training data teaches a machine learning model how to behave, whereas testing data assess how well the model has learned. In training data, the machine learning model is taught how to generate predictions or perform a specific task using a training data. In order to provide predictions, the model must first learn to recognize patterns in the data. Training data can be compared to the student's textbook when learning a new subject. The learner learns by reading the text and completing the task, and the book offers all the knowledge they require. Testing data. The performance of the machine learning model is measured using testing data. Usually, it is labeled and distinct from the training set. This indicates for every data point, the model's result is unknown. On testing data, the model's accuracy predicting outcomes is assessed. Testing data is compared to the exam a student takes to determine how well versed in a subject they are. The test asks questions that the student must respond to and the test results are used to gauge the students' comprehension. What is the importance of using separate training and testing data? To avoid overfitting, it is essential to use separate training and testing data. When a machine learning model learns the training data too well, it becomes hard to generalize new data. This may happen if the training data is sufficient, insufficient, or not representative of the real world data on which the model will be used. How training and testing data work? The training data collection procedure consists of three steps. The first one, feeding, which provides data to a model. The second one is define, which is the model converts training data into text vectors, that is numbers and corresponding to data features. The last phase is testing. Usually, you put your model to the test by feeding its test data, that is the unseen data.